Hey guys, DM Scotty here. Good to have you with me. Today I want to talk about some dragon's teeth I did, which were essentially stalagmites that were at the front of a dragon cave. I recently ran a whole dragon cave which was like filled with traps. It was essentially like a trap dungeon. So it was a pretty brutal dungeon, but it was a lot of fun. But these dragon teeth were at the entrance to the dungeon, and I thought they came out really neat. They're super easy to make and cheap. So let's go to the table and I'll show you how I made those. To start the craft, I took toothpicks and cut them 3 different sizes and hot glued them to a piece of cardboard so I can build up the texture and the body around the toothpicks. So here you can see I just took some toilet paper and glue and white PVA glue and then squished it onto the toothpicks, and that gave a nice structure to build the toilet paper onto, and then I set those aside to dry. Now I wanted to have bases for the stalagmites almost like gums. So what I did is I made stones in the same technique I did when I made the large stones in the large stones video. I just made 3 different clumps of toilet paper so I could put the 3 different size stalagmites onto the piece. So you can see there are 3 different clumps, and then I covered that up with toilet paper and did the same thing that I did with the making stones video. In this last construction pick, you can see that essentially what I did was I hot glued the dragon's teeth onto the clumps on the stones that I made, and I blended them into the stone. Now I did use some hot glue on the stone itself just to get a better blend in, where on the stone video I didn't really use the hot glue on the stone, but I felt it would blend in better, so I used it on the stalagmites, not only to give them strength, but to give them some more texture, and now I blended them into the base. So my last step was to paint them, so I just did the standard kind of gray, painting gray cave features, and now we'll go to the mouth of the dragon's cave and I'll show you what they look like. So here's the front of the cave, and I had this ledge hanging out from the mountain, and it was made a hard climb to get up. It wasn't just a straight up climb. It dipped under and then poked out. So it was a hard climb, but the players had a way to get to it from the sky, so that was no problem for them. But anyways, you can see that I have the stalagmites on here, and they look like the teeth. When the players landed, they said they looked up, and I described that there was like a dragon looking like head, above them, and that the eyes seemed to be watching them. It was carved out of the mountain. So that's always an argument when you do this kind of stuff. Should you craft all that? In my opinion, if they're really not going to interact with it, I really try not to craft it, because that could be a lot. I mean, it'd be cool, but it'd be a lot of work. And for them to just start here and look at it and then move on, that may not be worth your time. So you got to kind of decide what's worth your time. But I thought it was pretty cool to have these dragon teeth stalagmites. And so you can see there, I'll give you a closer look. See that detail on there came out really nice. And those are pretty cool. And you can use those again and again in your caves also. All right. So let me give you an idea of scale here. So here's the player characters. So that gives you an idea how big it is. And now the mouth of the cave, or this perch here, is just made out of the construction foam, the pink stuff. I use my hot wire cutters and cut this out, but you could easily use cardboard. You wouldn't have to use this. So I want to show you the next part that they went to. So I'll pull this aside, and I had the entrance had like a pit. Okay, so they had to cross this it was about a 50-foot pit they had to cross, so they had to get over here. But one thing I had that made it more difficult was I had some air imps, and give you a look at these. So, and they would fly up out of the pit, and then as the players were trying to get across, they would attack. The players end up using the gate to get across, but they did get attacked on the other side, and there was actually a reason they attacked. This whole lair is just full of traps. There were a few encounters with the imps, but the imps were trying to get samples of their flesh, and that was because near the end of the dungeon, the cave system, there was a magical item that would create a doppelganger of all the characters together, and that was a pretty nasty and brutal fight. And the imps managed to capture. I had four players, and the imps managed to capture the flesh of 3 of them. So it was combined, had the powers of 3 of them. So it was pretty nasty. But so that was the next stage from this. And this also served as a way to keep the players from retreating from the trap in the next room, which I'll show in a later video.
Hey you! Yeah you, back here! Huh? I know it was short, but what do you expect? It was a short tip. Watch longer episodes if you want, jeez, and quit bugging me! Hey, and make sure you join the forum too, I almost forgot. Oh, yeah, and have a magical craftastic day.